I'm as cosy with him as I was. I don't want to say bad things about Raila, but I don't think I hold him the way I used to hold him. No, I don't. And you know me, I always say the truth. I don't hold Raila the way I used to hold him. He's not where he used to be to me. No, he has betrayed me.
A very good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Kabir. It's always a pleasure, it's always a joy, it's always a privilege to have you joining us here for political conversations which I say I hope will help our political leaders in making better policy and political decisions. These conversations come to you very simply, truthfully, and unbiased with Herman Manyora, the hard hitter, University Don, political strategist, communication expert. How are you doing today?
All those names, all those things.
All those titles.
I'm doing well.
You're doing well. Our conversation for today comes post Limuru 3. I saw your video yesterday about Limuru 3. I'll not talk about it, but I want to talk about where Gachagua is. That is the conversation the country is having. Where is this man? He's been missing from state functions. I think 11 state function NTV was counting. 11. The guy is missing. Close allies are saying he's not picking phone calls. Where is this man? Raila Odinga is transversing in State House, and Gachagua said he had laid traps. It's actually Raila that bid Museveni bye-bye. What do you think is happening? Is Ruto doing what Uhuru did to him to Rigathi Gachagua?
This is politics. Anything is possible. But I remember the words that still ring today. William Ruto saying, I will never wish this to happen to any deputy president. Yeah. He said he went through such a tough times. He can't imagine subjecting any other human being to that. Yeah. So I don't think he's doing it, but if he did it, this is politics. Politicians don't keep their words. That's normal.
You say they eat their words.
They eat their words. I think they learned from Winston Churchill. And they don't get constipation.
What do you think is happening in Rigathi Gachagua's mind? Because this man here, we know he likes appearing in public as the leader he is. In
but
his
can that guy
speeches.
take leave? How if Gachagua is just chilling? Yeah. I don't think anything bad has happened to him. He's just chilling somewhere.
Do you think it's right for him to chill when
Yeah,
we
why
are
not?
when we are having Limuru 3? This conversation is about Mount
You
Kenya.
can chill it from somewhere and check how it's going on.
And you decide
He
to...
could be on top of the mountain watching. You remember sometimes he goes to pray and faces Mount Kenya. Maybe he's meditating.
But every time he goes to Mount Kenya, he takes photos and he shares online.
No, this time he didn't think. I don't think. I asked a very senior government officer, a very senior government official, really top government, and he told me Gachagua is okay. He's just missing to use his words. Missing in action, but he's safe. It's okay.
Then the conversation...
We pray that he's okay.
Yeah.
If nothing is happening to him, that's okay. That's just, you can keep quiet, you can chill a bit. Yeah.
The conversation also goes
You can get annoyed and decide, instead of throwing tantrums or throwing my weight to show who I am, let me cool. Sometimes anger management is also a good thing. Maybe he realizes if he went in the public, he could tell people stuff. So let me cool. Then when I emerge, I'll have cooled enough now to be sober and talk about certain things. You can't know.
What do you think then is happening with Raila Odinga together with President Ruto? I think Raila was with CS Murkomen. Seems like he's working with government. Gathoni wa Mushombe in Limuru 3 says they're speaking the same tone now. Raila and William Ruto. What decision do you think Ruto is making when it comes to the country dealing with Raila?
It is public. It is politics. We all said Ruto didn't seem to understand the politics. When he thought he could crush Raila, we said, no, you can't. It's not even in your interest. It's in the interest of I remember doing a powerful video on that, and I said, the person who will reap most from peace is the president. Because you want to govern. How can you govern if there's no peace? And therefore, bring Raila next to you creates peace, the peace you need to govern as president. So what he's doing is what we ask him to do, but now there are interpretations. Yeah, there are interpretations because then on the side of Raila, people are asking, why were we suffering Why are you so cosy with these guys who caused us a lot of suffering? Including people who died, they haven't been compensated, people who lost property, people who have lost jobs, people who have missed on promotion because they are Luos or Luyas because of you. Without even an explanation to us, you are already cosy with Murkomen, with Ruto. Yeah, it's a slap in the face. There are people asking those questions. And on the side of UDA, they say this guy caused us sleepless nights. How come now you are in bed with him? So I would understand Gachagua if he feels bad.
Decides to take a break.
Wamesema mitego zake aliweka state house zilikuwa Chinese made. They were fake. This China mitego hazikushika Raila. That's what people are saying. But I would understand if Gachagua feels bad. I would feel bad too. How I will manage that is a different story. We may feel the same about something, but how we react, how we manage our anger or our feelings is a different story. I think Gachagua can be a happy man, and I wouldn't blame him.
We will finish the conversation with what Gachagua needs to do, if this is the conversation we're having. But talk a little bit more about Raila. Some say he's fighting only for his own interests. This is what he has been doing with different regimes, from Daniel Moi to Kibaki to Uhuru to Ruto. And this conversation has always been there. Don't you think at least somehow he needs to show some level of, I don't know how to put it, but some level of decorance when it comes to dealing with these presidents that he is opposing?
I've always given Raila the benefit of doubt, perhaps more than another person among people who have been critical in this country. There are people who have worked with Raila and gone the other side and said all manner of things. Of course, top on the list are people like Miguna, Jakakimba, and many others. I've said Raila is not a good man. Raila is selfish. I've never said those kind of things. I don't want to say those kind of things. But I must also say that it's important to care about the feelings of other people. So when people see, and I've talked about Orengo, for example, people have died over the years throughout the struggle in the trenches. And you, Orengo, you, Raila, you symbolize that. You give hope. When people see you still strong, they say, okay, our children have not died in vain. We've not lost our jobs in vain. Community leaders have not been assassinated in vain. There is still hope. But when they see you now collapsing and falling by the wayside and dining and whining with the people who have caused all this suffering to the people, it is painful to those people. And I've said this about Orengo, and I've said this about Raila. I can say now that it's important to approach these things with the level of sensitivity that is required.
That's the word, sensitivity.
Yeah, you must know that people are feeling. There are so many people, when they see Raila with Murkomen, they feel so bad. I know something, but maybe Raila even doesn't know. I know how people felt when he lost. People were coming to me. I became the telephone operator to give information. I became the information officer for Azimio. I was the psychologist in chief. I was the doctor to nurse people. I was the nurse. I almost died myself.
You took a break.
The kind of things I was hearing from people. People are seeking me out, looking for me. I couldn't walk in the streets. Many people cried on my shoulders. I move somewhere and somebody just falls on me and they begin to cry. And I'm not talking of boys. There's an engineer I met in Kitale. A mature old man, not a boy, actually a retired engineer. He just collapsed. He was trying to talk to me and he collapsed. So Raila must know these things mean so much to people. And that's not to say that you cannot change course. That's not to say you can't come up with strategies. That's not to say you cannot deal with Murkomen and Ruto and look for AU. No, far from it. That is just to say be sensitive to other people's feelings. Try to figure out what people feel when they see you with those people. What is AU? What does it mean to people? There are many people who feel if it means sacrificing to Ruto and kneeling before him. See, Kai, we have lost the presidents which matter to us. What is AU? These are things Raila ought to be told.
So now he
has lost so many friends. I don't think I'm as cosy with him as I was. I don't think I I don't want to say bad things about Raila, but I don't think I hold him the way I used to hold him. No, I don't. And you know me, I always say the truth. I don't hold Raila the way I used to hold him. He's not where he used to be to me. No, he has betrayed me.
And you're
As a person.
You're representing Kenyans
Many
who support.
There are many who feel worse than the way I feel. It's me who talks to people.
So I think this is a
People get me and they cry, even now. Grown-up men shed tears.
Then what is the future of opposition if you feel betrayed? His Azimio followers also feel betrayed.
Yes.
What is the future for Azimio with Raila as its leader? Do you think...
You know, you can't remove it from Raila. That's just unfortunate. The guy is a magnet. He's a spirit. His spirituality. So you may say what you want to say. I'm not happy with him, but I know there's not much. Unlike Miguna, I'm more realistic. Yeah.
When it comes to the ballot box...
Yes, even me, if I went, I'll still vote for him. It's that unfortunate. I'll find myself even voting for him if he stands.
Do you think President Ruto might face the same rejection Uhuru faced by closing up with Raila? Could that be a possibility?
It is a possibility. I know for a fact that there are people around the mountain who are so unhappy with this Raila thing. I've talked about Azimio people.
Yes.
Including his own Luo people. Us Luo people. We are not happy with what Raila is doing. Let me tell Raila, I hope somebody should tell him. Yeah. People are not, they can't just tell him. And you know, there's something about him that attracts people. So they hate him but love him at the same time. But people are not happy with what he's doing. Equally, there are people on the mountain. They are not very happy with the relationship the president has with Raila. It goes against what they stand for. Many people on the mountain. And let me tell you this. If Ruto will lose a mountain, he will lose it because of his dealings with Raila. I've answered your question?
You've put a period, and it makes sense.
Yes. Don't add anything. If it gets to a point where the President William Ruto loses Mount Kenya, let him not look for reasons or what happened. It is his dealings with Raila that will cost him the Mount Kenya people.
But that doesn't...
That's not again to say that he should not deal with Raila.
Yes.
No, you know, I want people to get me right. I'm just for caring about people's feelings and sensitivities. That's all. The president must ask himself, in my newfound relationship with Raila, including to be seen to be doing like state functions, what are the Mount Kenya people thinking? The Mount Kenya people who discarded and abandoned their own son, Uhuru Kenyatta, for me, William Samoei Ruto.
Professor Gaganja is telling me he's actually the kingpin of Mount Kenya, Ruto.
Yes. So, if the people abandoned their own and made me kingpin and believed in me, what are they feeling when they see me with the same Raila? They rejected Uhuru because Uhuru came with Raila. What are the same people feeling when they see me with Raila? These are the questions Raila and Ruto are failing to answer, to ask and answer. I'm not saying they should not relate.
Yeah.
Politics is not static.
And that's
I know enough politics. No, I know enough politics to enter any university classroom anywhere in the world and teach political science. I'm not a political scientist. But the reason that university, I cannot enter the whole university and teach aspects of political science and politics.
And that's why I'm asking, does this necessarily mean Ruto's Mount Kenya loss? Does it mean he might lose elections without Mount Kenya?
It is possible. It is a risk you are taking. It's a gamble. The question is always this. When you take a gamble or a risk, what is the point? What is the point? What do you want to gain? Do you want to bring in Raila on board and lose Mount Kenya? Have you done enough calculations? Will you even trust the same Raila? You know, let me also advise Ruto. Because he's a good man. You know me, I like the president. People are saying these days I have become what. They don't understand how I operate. Because Ruto is my president, I can't change that fact. Can I change it?
No.
And I must love him because he's my president. I'm a citizen of this country.
Not the Pasaris way, but not the Pasaris way.
I am not the Pasaris way. I'm a subject, and I'm loyal to my president. I may still criticize him, but I give him an opportunity to rule the country. What I want to tell the president is this. How trusting are you? Once you destroy Mount Kenya, abandon Gachagua, destroy Mount Kenya, annoy Mount Kenya, how sure are you Raila will be with you until 2027? I hope after this, I asked Manyora yesterday, I'm on a certain platform where Isaac Manyora is with many titles. He was posting the latest appointments, those 4. So I asked him, when is mine coming? I hope Ruto will give me mine. I'm not begging for it, but I think it should come. Supposing Raila interacts with you to the point you lose Mount Kenya. You're asking where Gachagua is. That's part of the matrix, perhaps. You end up losing Mount Kenya because of Raila. Now Raila, as a politician, he realizes, what? Now Ruto minus Mount Kenya is minced meat. Then he stands and he wins. I hope now my appointment will come. Those who hate me in the president's camp must know they should not hate me. I tell them the truth. You go close with Raila Odinga and you lose Mount Kenya. Then Raila realizes, what? President Ruto minus Mount Kenya is so weak now. This is mine for the taking. Giniwa Sekao. Anachukua hiyo kitu asubuhi. Then Ruto will be from Surugoi. You say, what? How could I have left my solid Mount Kenya for a shaky ground that is Raila Odinga? That's how politics is played. So I just hope these two gentlemen are aware of what they are doing. Their newfound friendship is okay for the country, for themselves, for Africa, and for everything else. I'm only telling them, beware of what your base thinks of you. Be aware of stepping on the toes of Mount Kenya people, President William Arap Ruto. Do not be seen to be abandoning Gachagua. You'll pay dearly for it. And for Raila Odinga, the people have stood with you against all odds over years. They have paid the ultimate with life. People have died in the course of the struggle. People have believed in you, Raila Odinga. So be careful what you do. Do what you want to do. But just look back and say, hey, what are my people thinking? Do I need to explain something to them? Do I need to engage in a different manner so that I don't hurt the feelings of the people who have stood with me throughout the years against all odds? I can tell you there are people, starting with Obama's father, Obama Sr., who never got the promotion, the jobs, the titles, everything they deserved, merely because they were Luos. Not to mention the many who have died. And many who have lost property in the course of the struggle. Raila and his father symbolize that struggle. It is a hope. So when the people have placed historical hope on you, community hope on you, the entire future is on you. You must be careful how you treat those people. How perceptions, how do they perceive you when they see you laughing off with Murkomen somewhere? And I told Lorengo, when these people see you almost bending to kiss Ruto's feet, there's nothing wrong with interacting with the president. But even the demeanor, how you come out, Mr. Orengo, I have asked him, please, be sensitive to the people who hold you so dearly.
Finally, I wanted us to finish with Gachagua. We had put him aside kidogo.
Yes.
But as he's watching what is happening in his silence,
yes,
what is his place in this conversation? What is his place when he decides to come back? What should he think about when dealing with Raila Ruto causing up to each other?
There are many things. First of all, Gachagua would know what you and I don't know. You know, there are times people have a chat, man-to-man chat. Maybe he has had a man-to-man chat with the president and told him, I don't like what I'm seeing. And maybe the president has tried to explain. And maybe the explanation has not been convincing. Maybe the president has even told him, shut up. You are my deputy president. Let me do my work as president. Maybe. We don't know that.
Yes.
These are some of the... They don't talk this in the presence of their aides. These are things they talk, they drop them. So maybe Gachagua knows. And now on the basis of what he knows, he will have to look for the best way forward. People react differently. Ruto stuck with Raila, with Uhuru. He refused to quit.
To the end.
To the end, and he became president. Gachagua may use the same, but unfortunately for him, 2027 is coming. By now, he must have a rough idea, a fairly good idea of whether Ruto will retain him or not in 2027.
And based on that
Common
idea,
thinking is that he will not. You know, I have my ear to the ground and a nose for politics. I listen, I hear. I see the unsaid.
even Kure is chokozering.
Yeah, there are many people who feel Ruto will not put him there. But there are also people like me who know it is suicide for Ruto to do the same. Let Ruto decide to throw away Gachagua. It will be a gamble he may be looking at from Surugoi. Say, what? Yani, kimchezo tu hivi kitu ikaenda. Mbona sikuona hii? So for Gachagua, what he does, to cut the long story short, I have a friend who says, long story short. So long story short, what Gachagua does, how he does it, must spring from the knowledge he has. Sometimes it is direct. He knows he has talked to the boss. Sometimes he can sniff. Sometimes you can look around and know hapa ni kubaya, hapa kamenuka. Whatever way he gets, he concludes, he must. And if it's not that direct, this is now how in other countries advisors come in. Close confidence. Not cheerleaders like Kenyans are used to. Intelligent men and women around you. Including sourcing for people you had never even thought you could work with. Source them now. So that you look at the situation. The bottom line is you have to understand the situation before you move. You may be thinking the president will not have you for running mate in 27, but you are thinking wrongly. Because you have not had the right people around you to help you assess the situation. If he hasn't told you. So the time for Gachagua now, the most important thing for Gachagua is to gather information, analyze situations, try to understand everything around him, try to build a team. If he doesn't have a team, this is the time Gachagua needs a team. Not of cheerleaders. No. Of intelligent men and women. The type like the one Uhuru had, Kina Nancy Gitao. People of that nature. People who can look at situations. After a week, they come and tell you this is, and they are not wrong. And if they are wrong, not very wrong. And on the basis of that information, on the basis of that knowledge, then he will make up his mind on what to do. You can resign if you want. You can say, we started this journey together. But hatuendeshani vizuri, tunadanganya wa Kenya. Unajua wa Kenya sasa ni wewe. Tunadanganya wa Kenya. Tunafanya nini?
Danganya wa Kenya.
Kwa hivyo wewe hii safari endelea peke yako.
Tupatane mbele.
Let me join Kenyans in trying to pray to God as we face Mount Kenya, so that he may give us direction of where to go. You don't say I'm going to run against you. I'm just joining Kenyans to observe and pray. And even pray for you. We hope you can also change.
Gonna wrap up, unawaambia kila kitu watakuita kweli.
Hawezi kuni. Hiyo ndio ujinga yangu.
Thanks for coming, for joining us for this conversation. It's political scientist Herman Manyora. Says you can lecture in university. It's all about sensitivity and understanding the situation. Till we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.